And I don't think Rubio and whoever else, I don't think we got them, like, ain't no Harry Kissinger in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Kissinger around this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody like, you know what I'm saying, Dick Cheney. Like how they cleaned up Iraq and Iran, like how they tried to do Iran and then Afghanistan, like, yeah, that's totally different. Those are totally
Basically, you
different.
said these guys aren't their forefathers. You said that
Not at all, bro.
they don't colonize well enough.
But
Is what
they are
you're
not
saying.
their ancestors, my nigga.
No, 1974.
Oh yeah, that,
Because I learned that information this past week. Like I said, I came back to a whole
for
different.
real.
Yeah, no. I learned the like the petrol gas
Yeah,
currency thing. Yeah, I learned this that past weekend. Like I knew America was the dominant player
yeah,
in selling of gas. Like that wasn't of oil. That wasn't up for like something that I was kind of
debating.
remote debating, but that specific kind of tidbit of when the tide turned and as to why, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. So the whole BRICS thing.
yeah, because
starts-
The Aramco deal, that's when all that shit started in 1974, with the American and Saudi Arabian oil companies coming together. I believe it was like Chevron, the big three in America, and then Saudi Arabia, Sovereign Web Fund, and then fast forward, and then when South Africa and then everything going on in the Middle East started happening, what you need to build everything that has to go with war, oil. If you know anything about what's going on in America, our oil prices were going up. Our oil companies are crying about the price of oil going up, which I said in the group chat, niggas don't want to pay $70 for a barrel of oil. So it's just like, yeah, $68 is the sweet spot. And then when all these other countries start trading oil in different currencies, whether it be yen, dirhams and all of this other stuff that fucks with the American dollar and how much that prices the oil. And then with Venezuela being the highest producer on this side, and then we failed with Brazil. If you don't know anything about Brazil and their last president, he just got arrested for everything he tried to do with Trump. Their new president is not rocking. Shout out to her, and then shout out to him and her because he has a whoever the head lawyer is in the country, she's a lady and she's cracking down on all that. So yeah, but so everything that came with Venezuela, that's all coming, bro. Like how we was talking about making Mexicans Mexican. I honestly thought it was going to start there
We
first.
said making Mexicans
I
Mexicans.
mean, making Mexicans American. No offense. I believe we saw one of our friends that's in the military told Charles that recently, and I was just like, making Mexicans American. It sounds kind of crazy. Like just in the sentence itself, like
I'm
words are being spoken that have never been said before, Charles.
my thing is the geopolitics of it all is kind of. It's not. We always use words like that's nasty or that's your man's when we're not talking about someone who's actually your friends.
Yeah,
But it's just like it's a nasty spectrum because I think there's two ways to look at it. There's the like, okay, there's the evil, there's the bad. There's these big colonial imperialist America doing their imperialist thing, going into another country, taking their resources, removing their leadership and all that. Da da
Char-
da.
Charles, we moved to war shit.
I mean, for the last couple of weeks when I was in, like I said, I was in Ghana. Every time I looked, they was taking some sort of tanker off of the ocean.
Bro, we moved the whole United States naval fleet.
They were every time I looked up, they were doing something. But I say that to say this: there's another way to look at it, and I think it's a very unpopular opinion, but I think it's one that a lot of people hold. They just don't realize it. We live in an empire. Like
For sure.
The United States of America isn't like one of these countries. Like the United States of America isn't Ghana. It isn't Germany. It isn't
Italy.
it isn't Venezuela. It is it isn't one of these countries with 28 to 30 million people and a government that is like less old than some people's grandparents.
Hmm.
That's just not what this country is. A behemoth. It expands from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. It is a very, very large country with resources and things that need to be replenished.
Well, depending on where you at in Alaska, you can even say the Arctic Ocean.
You know what I'm saying? The Gulf
Yeah.
is very, a southern border that touches the Gulf and is very important. So
Which
for
golf?
Gulf, that's nasty work. That is crazy work. But I say all that to say this: that what do empires do? Empires expand.
For sure.
Like, and that is a constant, and they expand in resources or people. Like
Yeah.
Rome, like at one point, Rome wasn't just Rome, Italy. It was the Turkish. It was all of that empire that surrounds it. Those
The
were
Byzant,
all
the
business.
Byzantines.
They were all Roman citizens, right? They didn't live in Rome, but they considered Roman citizens. Why? Because Rome plundered them, took their resources, took their people, took their whatever, and used it for the betterment of the empire.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to admit it, but like we are born into and you live in an empire. And once you kind of pledge allegiance to the empire, this is kind of what comes with it. So like when people say that like Americans are imperialists, this is exactly what they mean. They mean you stand by and you watch your country do something, and then people like you got people making excuses. You got people being like, "Oh, this is what the Venezuelans want." And my thing is, I've never spent a day in Venezuela.
Me
Never.
either.
So I would be ignorantly talking to you to tell you that this is what the people want. But what I do, I think I'm very comfortable saying is that these people want to govern themselves. I think
For
that
sure.
I think that is the truth of the matter. And a lot of times like it's very easy for people to say someone is a dictator or someone is this or someone is that when you don't live there. Like I don't deny that the regime of Maduro and Chavez may have done bad things. I don't like. I think that would be ignorant to say because all regime like I can't you can I don't think I could find a regime on this earth that hasn't done something that an opposing side would say is wrong or bad. Like
Hmm.
that's kind of how these things work. Like people don't come to power just through like diplomacy as much as you guys want to believe that's the case.
That's why you have opposition leaders.
When January 6th happened, people died. Like 4 or 5 people died, and no, and like because it's the United States of America, nobody will run and say like it's a coup or it's this or. But like an attempted coup happened in our country. I sat down and watched it on TV, and it failed miserably. 4 to 5 people got killed, and it was just like another day in the park because
Yeah.
that's how shit kind of goes on this side of the when you're the big dog. But
Niggas rely watch tyranny on TV.
but the truth of the matter is that like that's what happened. It just failed. This one was successful. Like the Americans got a much better drop on Maduro than uh, Trump was able to get on Pence and Biden. So like
Facts.
his people came out better than the other people. But I just it strikes me as very interesting, or maybe interesting isn't the correct word, but very weird that people don't seem to see the parallels of like what goes on not just in their country but like in the greater world that we're connected to. Like once again, like I'm not saying to pick a side or be like, oh, this is right, or but like doesn't America have enough of a history in doing stuff like this for you to be like, all right, I'm gonna wait to get more information about what's like. That's my thing.
Hmm.
It's been about what, as of right now is Sunday, a little bit before 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's been
About 32 hours.
about 32 hours since like he's actually been bomb
Apprehended.
apprehended. Bombs have been dropped. All that good stuff, and the story has changed immensely in those 32 hours. It went from he was killed at one point. It
Hmm.
went from he was um he did a deal with the government, like he did a deal with the government, and that's why he was handed over to maybe his personnel within his inner circle gave him up because the military, the government that he was just a part of, is still the one that's in power.
Like they literally just sworn in his vice president as acting president.
Because that's what the Constitution says. So what are you talking? Like and this is my issue. Like I want more critical thinking to be done by a group of people. If the man that everyone is telling you is allegedly not supposed to be in power because of a fraudulent election, why would they swear in the person who is part of his
political power,
or part of his election crew, unless they're upholding the laws of that land? Once again, I wasn't there for their elections, but once again, I wasn't there for the elections, but I could give you multiple sides saying something that the elections were fair and sides saying the elections weren't fair. What does that sound like? That sounds like the United States of America. Like, for sure. I don't. Like, so does that give any country now the ability to come in to say that they're about to come take over or like depose of our president? Like, that's not how any of this works.
But and then what goes against them even more is because they tried to say like he tried to change the Constitution and all of that to give him even more power. Then it comes out also, like you said, the story has changed so much that he didn't even go through with that. Like he left it alone after he won the election the last time. They gave him all that criticism about the elections going unfairly. He was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. And the only reason he was doing all that Bama shit is because of the economic crisis and then the economic and political sanctions that Donald Trump was putting on said country to stranglehold him into this position. So like you were saying, we just need a lot more critical thinking.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I think once again, I'm not on the ground. I'm not in Venezuela, but I can give you two opposing sides. I can give you the side that says that the sanctions and all the American interference has played a part in why they've become like they've gone from one of the top oil producers to 21st in the world. Why they've gone from I think like 300 a barrel or 300 like millions barrels in production to 700,000 in like there's multiple sides that will explain it. Also, people could tell you that it was the fact that Chavez and Maduro weren't planning for the future properly and didn't have their infrastructure and other things in preparation. So when things happen and the money wasn't flowing as well,
untimely demise. He caught cancer in 2013. That's honestly where all this shit started.
And you know what? There's something to be. I've also seen people say that Maduro just isn't as an effective leader as Chavez was, and when he was gone, there's multiple. I think truths, not even truths, but there's truths in some of the things that are being said by all parties in regards to the state of Venezuela. But once again, I think the ultimate truth is that these people want to be self-governed. They want to be if they want to depose of Maduro, they want to be the ones doing it, not bombs coming from Washington D.C. I don't think that is a crazy idea or a crazy mindset to have. Like, I think it's actually wild that you have propaganda that's like, well, maybe the people are enjoying it, and you're watching videos from like 2019 celebrations, and like people are like saying it with a straight face, and like then people get mad when you like Americans are dumb. Like nah, people are like, yo, Venezuelans, and it's like every video I've seen is like literally people in distress in lines where like, yo, we don't know where the food is coming from. All the celebrations are cats in Miami.
Facts. Like, nigga, 65 people died in these bombs. Like, 65 civilians died in these Americans bomb drop on Saturday morning. Like,
to get one man, apparently, right? Yeah. Whose government is still in. Like, that's when I cannot stress enough that like, the government is intact.
What regime change are you all talking about?
What are you guys talking about?
What are we talking about?
The lady is talking crazy. Like, the lady is talking crazy. Like, have you seen her?
Yeah, she called them Zionists.
She
Like
said crazy
she,
things.
she spitting straight ether on niggas right
And
now.
everyone said, and then you have people being like, "Oh yeah, that's just rhetoric." For what? So what? So
No,
what?
no,
What?
no, it's
What?
not.
Like, what is the truth? See, and that's the thing. No one can keep their. This is the issue I think with imperialism in the year 2025.
26, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2026. Let me keep up. You you don't have enough time to concoct lies that stick well enough. So, for example, like
News cycle moving too fast.
everything is like, for example, everything about the Epstein stuff is still here. Like, as much as they want to say that it's moved out the cycle, you get new information every week. So, like, yeah, you're gonna maybe move it to story on the B block, but the next time we get like a video or a picture with you and him, that's back to A1 for a good group of people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and
A lot of your group of people.
and the whole idea is that how long can you keep, like, you're not gonna do a ground invasion in Venezuela. You've just said that, oh, you're cool with the new interim president. So you're just gonna keep bombing them until what? Like, what is the actual end goal that makes it be like, all right, this is what's happening. Like, this is the thing that we can say we've won, because I don't know, like, if the lady is doing what she's saying, like, if everything is true and she's keeping to form, I don't really see how anything has changed.
Bro, this is another failed coup attempt in South America. If you know anything about the last ones we tried to do, this is just another one added onto the list. We had a bad run since Vietnam.
Nah, there's been some good wins.
I mean, a lot of them on the African continent. Give you that.
I mean, you could say Panama. I saw a good chart the other day, and
You
they
got
got
Oh yeah, Panama.
you got Panama '89. There's South.
Touche.
There's a Haiti '04. Like, there's some
Yeah.
wins. There's
You
see,
got
that's the thing about American imperialism. It's heavy handed. It's economic sanctions.
yeah.
It's visa restrictions and things of
Then when you
that nature.
and then when you think about those countries, it's just like, bro, like they've been so. When I think about those, I don't even think about victories for real. Like that's just like walking up on a crippled person and taking their money. Like
But the thing about expansion of empire,
no offense to these nations. I'm not trying to put y'all saying y'all, but y'all were disabled at the time. Like
but that's the thing
y'all
about
don't have no military. Y'all don't have no like.
But that's the thing
Come
about
on,
the
bro.
expansions of empire. It's not
Oh yeah, for
about
sure.
fighting the biggest bully and take. It's about tooling up and making sure that you're intact. Like, that's the thing. Like,
I feel that.
so for me, like, it sounds like, I think, harsh, but I think when you really think about it, if you are looking at strictly from a, like, yo, what is best for the country, you're like, yo, maybe we got more oil. Maybe there's a great BBC report from Sky News, or maybe it's Sky News. I don't know who owns what, but from Sky News about,
I think Sky News owns BBC now.
okay, so from Sky News that reports on why in particular Venezuela crude oil would be important to the United States of America. And long story short, America produces a lot of oil oil regardless. They just don't produce the type of that really is needed for
We produce natural gas.
well, fracking. Fracking
Yeah,
produces a very different type of oil than
crude oil.
than what is probably needed for the refineries in the United States to really get shit popping the way the country's economy would like. And all the countries that do have it, either we've already tapped in with them or we have sanctions and there's issues. So the two biggest players being Russia and Saudi Arabia, very friendly relations with Saudi Arabia.
Not
We
so
every
friendly with Russia.
Everyone knows what the deal is with Russia. But with that being said, there's a few places that do have untapped, and Iraq, Iran, and now we found with Venezuela. Now we've seen, but like I said, I don't think if you, like I said, I think if you care about the empire, you're like, hey, this is a necessary evil. And I wonder how many people just don't have the, because I think people want to say that, but they don't know how to say that without being like, oh, but like that's the thing you have to admit about, you have to admit American imperialism. You have to admit like you're part of that empire and all of that. If you're okay with that, I think it's very easy to be like, yeah, this is a necessary evil. But once again, you got to be okay with that.
And that's it. And I think this is more morally it's intact than people think it is. Like this ain't just some political thing. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what.
that's why a lot of people, and I think speaking to your point for real, and I think that's why a lot of this shit since October 7th, like that's been going on in the world. I think that's why a lot of people have been scared to speak up on it. Cause it's just like, bro, like this might go against me in a moral way. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
it might it affects my moral compass,
you know what I'm
but
saying? Like, cause like now you can't separate, say it's political and all that. Like when you got actually innocent civilians, kids, children, freezing to death,
well,
flooding to death, and all this other
but
shit. It's
that's
like, okay, my nigga, like you don't care about humanity. Like,
but that's the thing. Empires aren't supposed to, like, once again,
yeah,
I keep using empire not to separate the citizens or the people, but to really
no,
put in scope what is going on. Like Donald Trump, he's made it very clear. He said he's going to do his version of the Monroe Doctrine. That's what he said. What did he call it?
the Don Doctrine.
The Don, like that's what he called it. Like these are not my words; these are his.
The
He said
Don, I think it's the Don Road Doctrine is what
Don
he
Road
called it.
Doc. That's what
There we
that's
go.
what he's dubbed it. He
Yeah,
said we're going to do what we, his words, not mine.
I'm here.
What we did in Venezuela,
I read that shit this morning.
in Cuba, and in other places. He's threatened to do it in Mexico. Like once again, not something I'm conjuring up or something that this is some sort of political.
Yeah.
These are just the words. That's what I'm saying.
He said he said this at like 9 o'clock last night.
Since I've come back to America, it's a whole different world we're living in. I'm just saying, like, this is not the, like, even before I left, it was like, okay, yeah, Project 25, yeah, that's wild. What a crazy world. Ha ha ha.
This nigga Charles want to go back to the bush.
I'm just saying, like, my thing is that nobody is, I feel as though I'm living in a bizarre world because
Yes.
you're literally seeing people say stuff that is just not true. Like, I'm watching people with quote unquote big platforms lie, literally
Lie.
tell lies about what is happening in real time,
Network television. Journalists.
and then after that, I'm being told that things that I have seen with my own eyes are not true. I'm once again, I'm being told that January, when I sat on a couch in Brooklyn in 2021 and I watched that failed coup attempt, no, that's not what happened. I'm being told that, oh, that is what happened. It was a rally. Like, I'm being told these things and I'm being told to believe them with my
Charles,
with my
it was a political rally.
I'm being told to believe these things with my own eyes, and then I'm supposed to be, and then I'm being told by some of the same group of people that, like, to not believe, to question police reports, but not question the reports of the United States government at large, the biggest law enforcement law enforcement agency in the world, to not to take their word at
Face value.
face value, but my local police department, I should question everything they say because these people have a track record of maybe not telling the truth when being put to the fire for decision making. That's listen. They've been bombing random guys in boats for 2 weeks now, and every time people have been like, "Hey, you can't do that," they've been like,
A little bit longer than that.
"Yo, the people are selling drugs," and everyone's been like, "All right, that's enough," without any actual proof that someone is or is not selling drugs. Just being said that, hey, the people said that's going on. Have you seen some of the charges Maduro has?
I know
Pam,
that
Pam.
I know that drugs and drug trafficking and fraud were not on the 25 listed
All I know
charges.
is that one of the things that Pam Bondi, and this is the issue, they just be tweeting everything. So like normally I wouldn't even have this information. I'd just be like, but like
We in the group chat, Charles.
she tweeted that one of the things that he's being a quote unquote arrested for is gun possession.
I don't know if that's illegal there, but a lot of people got guns in Venezuela last time I checked.
My thing is, how does the United States like?
We can charge people with that in another country.
This be my logic about like, and my thing is that the same people who want to tell you about like, oh, gun rights in this country won't even blink an eye to be like, yeah, how is it possible that he's getting charged with? And like, my thing is that even if you want to be like, all right, maybe the drug trafficking, how can you
That wasn't on
fathom
there.
or make sense of that? When have you said he's an arms dealer? That ain't nobody has mentioned anything about being an arms dealer. I've heard dictator and I've heard drug dealer,
The drug.
narcotics trafficker.
He was not on. That was not one of the list of charges.
Man, listen, man. I'm just telling you what the people have been saying.
I'm
All
just
I,
telling. I didn't read the jumps because I know that one of the reporters I trust daily, and she's actually on boots in the ground in Venezuela.
okay.
Like she used to work for Al Jazeera and shit. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I bet. Seeing her posting, and then she was the one that's telling me like all the videos not real, and this is from 2018, 19, and shit, all that. And then she posted it, and then she quote tweeted the jump right after and was like, the two charges that the Western media have said that this man is culpable of, not on his list of charges. And I just know that drug trafficking and fraudulent dictator was not on there. So I'm like,
Listen,
so you have no proof of him being a drug trafficker. You have no proof of him laundering state funds.
I'm just saying, like, I just want everyone to use their heads just a little bit more. Like, once again, I'm not there. I don't listen. Maybe the Venezuelan people are happy. Maybe that is a very possible thing. But but the truth is that,
I haven't
like,
heard many.
if Donald Trump was not in power anymore, people would be happy in this country. Does that mean,
Oh boy.
you know what I'm saying? And also, people would be ready to riot. So what does that say? Does which one is the true indication of the pulse of the country? It's probably a little bit. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
Middle, for
Yeah.
sure.
And everybody, and I think most sensible people in this country understand that. But for some reason, when it comes to a place like Venezuela, people seem to be willing to take such a hard line stance, and that's just once again very funny to me. Epstein files.
I'm not caught up, so give me here.
All right, so
I
like I
know,
said,
I know some pictures dropped with Trump in the middle of like six girls.
well, here's the thing about the Epstein files that I found to be interesting is that there always seems to be another layer. So I think
Oh
the
yeah, for
most
sure.
recent layer was that there's like 5 million more files that have been found, or pages of documentation of this and that, da da da. And all I could think about is that like Epstein in particular, the story about him is not like a new story. Like he went to jail once already and got released.
Twice.
I'm not talking about 2009. I'm talking about 2004 or 5. Like
Yeah.
he's went to jail and been released because he understood how to manipulate or play the system. All the stuff about him, like maybe being Mossad, or some sort of intelligence worker for, an American or foreign intelligence agency. All things that have been reported before. Nothing that is like a new wrinkle to the story. So for me, all the thing about the Epstein is who cares and why do they care now? Like the New York Times, for example, you're trying to tell me they're just now getting all these the little weird letter that Trump wrote to the birthday.
Yeah.
You're telling me
I
this is
get that.
just now becoming something that they're willing to verify as no. They just feel as though they've had enough of Trump too. Like Trump has kind of exhausted all his goodwill. Like people don't. I feel like people don't even care. They don't even care to see the benefit of like
Venezuela.
no of Trump in general.
Oh,
Because
okay.
for a long time, even if Trump was bad morally, he was good for business. You could convince yourself that all the coverage, especially from the media, that hey, it was a return on investment. Now, what is the return on investment when if he doesn't like you, he might just sue your ass?
Touche.
Like once again, I think a lot of them played with fire, got burnt, and now have to live with the fact that like
They
yo,
got
they
third degree burns.
well, just the fact that for the rest of like eternity, that's what you are. You're part of the reason how we get to this fascist regime. Like there's clips of I forget the one lady on CBS when like Kamala, she's doing an interview with Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris is like, Project 20, and she's like, well, don't you think you're exaggerating? And it's like, lady,
Oh yeah. I
who,
seen it
who's
when Kamala was vice president and
yeah.
shit.
And
Yeah.
she's trying to basically, are you fear mongering the people? Once again, you knew that to be true. You knew what the implications were because you're trying to tell me you as a journalist you didn't realize reading Project 25 what those things said. Me, dumb person over here, read it and was like, yeah, that's not good vibes. We shouldn't fuck with that.
Like I read the first three and I was like, this is fascism.
So
Like straight up.
if you're trying to tell me that like most layman people who aren't required to have this as their what they do for a living can come to the conclusion, you're trying to tell me you didn't,
Or you was cool with it.
or you just realize that hey, having demonizing this woman on this platform was better than doing the real thing of proper journalism work because maybe people wouldn't vote. Like that's the thing.
Oh,
People
hold on, Charles. Let me put my tinfoil kufi on.
tinfoil Kofi is crazy.
Let me put my tinfoil kufi on. Was she a part of Project 2025? Because the media strategy thing was a part of it.
Oh, listen,
So if you can defame her and make her shit look wonky while you doing wonky shit,
my thing is for everybody who was or wasn't part of like the whole like project, you all have to live with it. Everyone has to live with the good or the bad that came from it. So my thing is that the media, like the fourth estate, has been a real thing. Like my whole life growing up, the whole idea of the fourth estate has been very, very important to what we consider a functioning democracy.
I mean, you're a man of the fourth estate.
I am. So to say that the fourth estate now plays no bearing when we're watching it play out in real time would be not taking accountability, and that's the problem. Nobody wants to take accountability for the part they have played in the madness up until this point. Listen, the madness, it might have tipped over. Like we were in a group chat and someone was like, we're in World War III, and I was like, there's another player who we need to wait for. But man, maybe they're right. Maybe the tulip was the invasion of Venezuela. Maybe we will look back in 5 years and be like, man, remember when they invaded Venezuela? That really kicked off a whole lot of other shit.
I feel that, bro, but I'm not. I'm hesitant on calling that an invasion. I feel like it was a kidnapping, sure. I feel like it was a stick up for shit show because we stole some shit. But until we actually put boots on the ground and like really try to overthrow this government, because we talked about it earlier, like his political party's still in power. Like the person he chose as vice president is still in power. Like everything else is still in power. The military is still acting as if their people are in power. So until we get on the ground and start acting like, hey, bro, this ain't y'all shit for real. And I don't think Rubio and whoever else, I don't think we got them, like, ain't no Harry Kissinger in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Kissinger around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody like, you know what I'm saying? Dick Cheney, like if he had somebody like that could really be like, hey, bro, like, I got real mans out here that's mercenaries, champ. Like they'll go clean this shit up, like how they cleaned up Iraq and Iran, like how they tried to do Iran and then Afghanistan. Like yeah, that's totally different. Those are totally
You
different.
said these guys aren't their forefathers. You said
Not
that
at all, bro.
they don't colonize well enough.
But
Is what
they are
you're
not
saying.
their ancestors, my nigga.
They're not as good as colonizers as they may want to believe.
Not at all. They're great thieves.
Hmm.
They're great con men. But when it
Hmm.
comes to actually invading and taking over
Okay.
governments and shit,
Woo.
I don't think this one gonna play out the way they thought. Like, yeah, you can see some oil and all that, bro. Like, you can play big, But like even when it comes to like how China doing it, like how they actually invading the African continent, like
Listen, all right, I'm glad that's a perfect segue. So
you know what I'm
I
saying?
was in I was in Ghana, Accra for 2 weeks. Beautiful place, beautiful town. I guess we'll do another episode later when I get into the full bag, but because we gotta Venezuela took up most of this, but this was lovely. We had to get back to the banter,
For sure.
but when I was in Ghana, Accra, one of the things that was like so not jarring, but was just like wow, China malls everywhere. Like
Bruh.
when I was in Accra, when I first left the Accra airport, and I was going to my mother's house in Sokomona, Accra, like a little suburb that's probably like 30, 40 minutes outside of the airport. I saw like four China malls, like four China malls, some kind of like really large, some kind of like a little smaller, like kind of like duplex type situation, like mini mall type
Okay.
situations, all different types. And I didn't go into any because I was just like, this is just weird. But the idea of like China trying to have a hand economically
Bruh.
is a very, to me, something that's interesting because it's not just China. Like when I was there, the Lebanese have a crazy influence. You see, you see I went to multiple Italian restaurants while like Italian themed restaurants while my time in Accra. And not to say there's anything wrong with people having different culture restaurants in different places, but it's definitely interesting to see like the type of, how could I say, maybe infrastructure that goes into places in which you see Italian, Lebanese,
Le-
Japanese.
Lebanese kind of make more sense though, cause y'all got a big Muslim community and
Well,
like
it's funny.
all
Apparently,
that.
I wasn't privy to, but Lebanese. There's a large Lebanese community that have been in Ghana for like generations.
Yeah.
So these are things that I was learning while I was there. I was like, okay, that's what's up.
Silk Road, brother, the Arab slave trade.
But with that being said, at least for me, Ghana, Accra was interesting in that.
Not Arab slave trade, I'm sorry. Goods trade, just trading period amongst the Arabs. I'm sorry, I say slave trade. That's stuff for the law.
That's the north of Ghana. One thing I will say is that Ghana is like, it felt, at least Accra, it felt
Y'all were
very
part of an empire at one point, Charles.
Accra felt very haves and have not. Like classism, I feel as though is spanking West Africa in a way that I don't even think they realize sometimes. Like the idea of like certain places, like when I stayed the first half of my trip, like I said, in Sokomona, the second half in like Accra, cantonments like by the airport and whatnot. And the difference in just kind of like infrastructure. I'm talking about roads. Like it's just kind of wild. Like it's not like some like, oh, I'm like in a whole different part of. It's like, no, I'm literally like 25 minutes away. Like I am super right here, and shit just is just like so different, and it literally
So
like
like it's like it go from like paved road to just dirt road.
it
Like
go. So it's
okay,
just like, for example, we went to Labadi Beach. Labadi Beach, the road going to Labadi Beach is like right in front of it. It's like, oh, it's chill. Because when you make a right, you're going towards cantonments. You're going towards airport executive, whatever. You're going towards whatever. But if you are in the direction I'm talking about, making a left, going towards Sokomona, once you get to like, once you get to past like a military kind of building type of place, the road the road literally starts to get worse, and then then there's less lights. You get to a point where, oh, this joint is well lit, all up and down by the beach, all up and down that road. Literally, you get past Polo Beach Club. Now we got one light for every 100 kilometers, where it was just a light like every 10 kilometers. Like
wow.
it's just little shit like that. It's just like, yo, and what's going in that direction? Sokomona.
Oh, wow.
So they don't. It was just like, oh, they're like, oh, y'all get that over there.
Yeah, I get that over there.
It's truly some real classism at its peak shit, and it just bothers me because everybody just seems to just be like, all right, that's just how he is. Like nobody's like super like, yeah, but ultimately the same way I talked about an empire, yo, it's a country that's coming off of colonial. So they're like, yo, we trying to make sure that every part of the country got basic resources. Fuck what you talking about, making sure that everything is looking like it's the 2025, nigga. I need to make sure that niggas got
Food.
21st century
Yeah.
amenities before we start making sure. And then when you start looking at it like that, you start being like, all right, maybe that is, maybe you got to take a step back and be like, whoa, maybe this is my, I come from a place where everything is straight. Like we don't got back roads out here. But it's funny though, Southern Maryland,
I was about to say,
and that's what's funny. Like I used to be like, why the fuck does my dad like fucking working out in Southern Maryland? This shit is mad dingy. And I was like, oh, this the type of shit this the type of
he
shit where
used to this.
this the type of shit where
Yeah.
he type of back roads and where after you get off the main road it's just dirt. Like that's how. Bro, have you ever been to La Plata? Like,
Yes,
Have you
nigga,
been to
yes.
Nanjamoy? Like,
I've
have
been to Port Tobacco,
have you
nigga.
been to Porto? Have you
Yes.
delivered some of these houses? There's
Yes.
no main road.
No.
There is a main road that gets you to,
To the house,
and
and then
then
you make a right, and then you're on dirt road or gravel for a mile.
you're on I'm talking miles of just trying to find like your footing on the like. What are you talking about? People just got their dogs and all types of just different animals roaming their little pastures. I'm like, I used to be like,
You might see a wild horse out that
bro,
bitch.
I remember we used to get towards like Crane Highway and La Plata. I used to be like civilization, thank God.
You hear me?
And I used to be like, why does this man like this? And then I went out to, I'm like, I get it.
So when I worked for UPS and I was a motherfucking driver's helper for the day or two that I did it, because I was like, no way, I'm working from 1 o'clock in the morning to damn near 8 o'clock at night and gotta be back at 1 o'clock in the morning. Shit me.
Those were
The
the days. Ah.
Oh man, good days. Built you into a man. But these niggas, bro, we will be on the dirt of dirt roads in North Carolina. Fool. I'm like, oh yeah, bro. Like they probably still practice sundown townness out here. And the driver would
Bro,
be like, oh yeah, for sure. He was like, we about to drop these packages off and get the fuck out of here. I was like, oh,
like,
say less.
and my thing is that like you really think about like, and it's so funny because I was talking to one of my cousins. He told me he moved from the place I was at about 10 years ago, and he lives in this part called East Lagoon. And when I said we was in East Lagoon, that's where they niggas had the fake wet willies out there. They
Okay.
had all types of just vibes. Like everybody out there is just vibing. No dirt roads. No dirt roads in East Lagoon. Like it's just like a crazy difference in like, yo, these niggas is like, and he was like, bro, I don't leave here. He was like, I don't leave this part of town. He was like, he was like, when I go basically to like our mom, he was like, because my cousin, my mom's side, he was like, when I go to mom's like side of town, like, I don't go on the weekends. He was like, I try to pick a day out the week where I can find some time and I just go up there and then I come back. He was like, he was like, no, I don't leave here, Charles. And I was just like, he was like, why would I leave here? He was like, everything I need is here. I don't need to go get nothing from nobody. I'm like, damn, like it's niggas who's just like, yo, all that like dirt roads and shit that you came to see. Nah, I'm not doing that. Like
Nigga said that was my life. He was like, you can be a tourist.
he
You can
said,
pick.
like, you could go eat that shit up if you want, but me, nigga, I'ma be where they got the fucking smoothie, bro. We was looking at matcha places. I'm like,
What?
bro, it's like that's I'm saying. Accra is crazy. Like Accra is like one of these places
That's
that,
vicious.
bro. I went to this place, Rose Garden, for brunch.
That's the joint you posted on the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy brunch. Like the brunch situation was just like, oh wow, like y'all out here trying to be like fucking
DC,
whatever,
huh?
whatever. Like I was like, oh, that's y'all bag.
Niggas went to
Sure.
DC and Atlanta for a couple weekends,
I was,
came back and was like, "We gotta turn this shit up, y'all. We ain't doing it
bro.
right."
We went to this one restaurant one night. It was called like Shogun, or it's called Blaze. Super like Mediterranean, like they got whole sections and booths. I'm like, yeah,
Turn into a Biza.
y'all really having it up, and it was a nice vibe. Like I couldn't even be mad at the vibe. The vibe was.
That's where y'all had the white baby in the club.
I'm trying to think. It was it. One thing I was surprised there were a little bit more white people than I was expecting. I was expecting to see like no white people, but like there were multiple times where I was in multiple places where I was like, I'm not talking about Accra. I'm talking about like
Outside of that,
outside of Accra, and I was like,
what y'all doing here?
what's going on? Like I saw a dude running through. I saw a dude running through the streets of Sacramento, and I was like, okay.
CIA. CIA.
Honestly, and that was a funny thing. When I was in Ghana, my algorithm was going crazy, so I was basically getting all the West African news, and them motherfuckers is funny as hell over there. Like between Nigeria,
Bruh.
South Africans, Ghanaians, and like people in Togo and Cote d'Ivoire, all that. Some of the funniest people you'll meet because I was just looking at the comment. I was like, y'all are wild, some
Bruh.
wild folks.
I follow a lot of Nigerian Muslims and Ghanaian Muslims and just people on the West and North Africa.
Mhm.
And when them niggas be arguing with each other,
Oh my god. What like I was seeing like you were seeing news of like a robbery happened and like some people got arrested who were Nigerian nationals and just like if you go look in the comments I'm like you guys are some angry people like you guys are very very
like
very very angry.
I'd be like, oh, okay. I used to think it was jokes, and then sometimes I be
Yo,
reading the comments, and I'm like, oh,
bro,
y'all don't like each other.
no,
Like,
no, Mook. I used to be like, oh, this is just friendly banter amongst people, but no,
no,
this is real.
no.
This is I don't want to call it hatred, but
Yeah,
it's some real, yeah, it's some real
yeah.
feelings,
And I'm like,
some real
okay,
feelings.
I ain't gonna say this feel tribal, but it feel tribal.
It kind of, it kind of make you wonder. That's all I'm.
you know,
That's all. Oh my God, Brentford is killing Everton.
I just seen that highlight.
That was, like I said, we're gonna do I'll do a different episode where I
Oh
really
man,
get,
that was fucking hilarious.
I really get into the Ghana bag, the Accra bag. I did a
Yeah.
lot of things. Went to a safari, went to a few different beaches. I had a good time. So
Her
Accra,
baby girl liked the trip,
oh, she was having it up. She was having more fun than us.
but she was acting like shit. When all the videos I seen, you would have thought she had been there before.
She was definitely the star of the show. We would go places and people would just. We had to get like a tire change one day, and we went into the little waiting place. This lady just brings her out a Coke. We would go places. People just handing her stuff. People just want to be like, oh, does she need this? Does she need? I was like, bro, the child is fine. Please do not give my child anything else. But nah, she had a really good time. Like I said, across a good time. If you're looking for a city where you can like go and like, I feel like you want to like enjoy West Africa, but you don't want to do too much. Across, listen, you could literally be there and that shit'll feel like you in like New York. You don't have to leave. That ass. You'll feel like you're in like a hot version of New York.
Hey yo,
You would just go to clubs and the beach because that's the thing. The beach was I didn't realize how many beaches the motherfuckers got. Like I
bruh,
went to like,
it's on the coast.
bro, yes and no because yes, there are hella beaches in Accra, but
Yeah,
like for example, like the second biggest city, Kumasi, ain't no beaches because it's
okay,
inland. So
yeah, for
like,
sure.
but like I'm talking about like proper beach, like Labadi Beach was a vibe. I went to a beach called a beach in Prom Prom, which was like more local. And apparently I was on the local side. Like apparently they got like a private side too.
Yeah,
But even that beach was like, oh, this is a little vibe. Like I could see why people enjoy this. So, like I said, if you want to just go to beaches, uh, get like eat relatively like inexpensive food. My thing about Ghana cuisine was that anytime I went somewhere and they actually like gave me Ghanaian food, it was pretty good. But I felt like I went to hella places where like it was just not Ghanaian food. Like I was like, bro, like endless
That
pasta and pizzas and
would blow me.
and but it was funny. Everything that was like fried yam, like for example, like they would have like these fried yams, and all the sauces would be like some like kind of like shito or like green peppers, and it was so good. Like the place I went to, Blaze, they had this one sauce with the fried yams, and I was like, yo, this is fire. I was like, I don't even like sauce like that, but this sauce, I was like, I don't know what the fuck y'all did. This sauce is it.
Shit.
So that was the thing. I felt like I went to a lot of places, and it was just like,
I don't
uh,
even know if I've ever had fried yam with sauce.
bro, like the fried yam. Ooh, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. But like I said, like most of the food I ate was like in the village. I was just like some lady just pounded me fufu one day, just like outside the joint in the little communal joint in the little compound. I was like, oh, this is a vibe. So that's where I was eating my African. Like, it wasn't no like restaurants. That was the funniest thing. I felt like,
Niggas going to auntie.
yeah, I felt like if you went to like a restaurant, it would be hard to find like really good kind of like whatever. But if you were just like, oh, I need, so you would probably just need to be like, yo, whose aunt could make me what I need to make because like
Facts.
that's what I need. Like I had for Christmas dinner, we had a Chinese chef make us like Chinese food. It was really good, but once again, like I was in a cry.
This
Yeah, it was good. Like there's no denying it was good. It was fire.
Charles is like, I thought I was in Africa.
Yeah, I was just like, even when my aunt told me that's what was going on, I was just like, interesting. And she was just like, no, you eat, we eat all the time. I was like, okay, that's a fair point. But nonetheless, interesting. But yeah, man, we're gonna do like I said, we got the setup now. We're gonna get on Matic in this bitch.
Yeah, when Omatic come, we can do the real breakdown. We can't do too
Yeah,
much about
no, I told you. The next episode is strictly about that. I had to get the emergency Venezuela because, like I said, the world has changed since I've gotten back to the Western Hemisphere. So I'm just,
nigga. We all went to sleep Friday night and was like, okay, shit is still chill. Woke up Saturday and was like, oh, this a new world.
type shit. Type shit.
But I still don't think people have gathered that too much, Charles. Like I woke up this morning and tweeted, I was like, I don't think y'all understand the capacity of what this man kinda did. Cause it's just like if we just about to be going in and kidnapping niggas presidents, hey Charles.
Like I said, this is some 1974 shit. This is like some like pre-internet shit when like the only time like you would have to read about this since this happened on a Friday, you would have to read about this in like the Monday paper.
Bruh.
We've been getting play by plays like you said since Friday night.
Bruh.
It's just a different world, my nigga. Like they didn't account for this. They definitely did not account for this.
I think Trump and them really think we still are in like a Reagan type thing with new like as much as they killed off the newspaper, they know the newspaper did. They still acting as if
You didn't
this
see they had the war room with Venezuela Twitter on the like I can't make like I said we live in a bizarro world, bro.
but you had all right, first of all, we need to arrest Elon too. Because
All
there's
right,
no
man. Listen,
way.
you gonna have us here for another hour, bro. You gonna have us here for the
No, I
listen.
was gonna stop. I was gonna stop with that because there's no way you giving niggas live streaming feeds to Venezuela's Twitter.
No, they were just searching Venezuela on in the little war, bro.
Hold on, they searched it.
Bro, I'm living in a bizarre world, and you
All
guys
right.
are not understanding. I'm going crazy.
Charles, you just made that way worse talking about they searched. I thought they had the straight link because they know
No,
that nigga.
no, bro, no. I was sending, bro. Oh,
Niggas typed it. Nigga said hashtag Venezuela.
bro, it's bad. It's all, bro. And these are the people who are about to lead the empire.
These are the niggas running the
These
empire.
are the people running the empire. We don't even got like gangster. Oh my
We
god!
got a bunch of fucking muppets.
This is who I gotta put my fucking faith in. These guys, these
These
idiots,
these are niggas that's taxing me, Charles.
bro. Listen, I wish, man. Let me stop. Hey, man. I wish,
Now you about to keep us here for
hey,
another
hey.
hour, nigga.
This where the show ends. Y'all, we be back. More potting.
Peace and blessings.